what I really want to do now is, having found that it only came in case 5, and that I had case 1 had the high family but not the high work. Case 3 was a high family. Case 6 was a high family. Case 7 was a high family. But I'm missing that work commitment. So I want to see, maybe I missed something in my coding. So we're going to move on from the theory building for a moment, and we're going to come back over here into just a search tool for my source files. So this was under the source menu, and it's search sources. So I'm going to search stuff in here like job, right? And I'm just going to hit search, and it goes through very rapidly and finds which sources the word job occurs in, and gives me a little bit of context, right, around that, so I can see what it's there. Like, I love my job. The best part of my job is my 6-figure salary, I have an excellent, an excellent job. So interview 1 was one where we found a high family commitment, but not the high work commitment. So let's go take a look at interview 1. Our rule says we're looking for a high salary and a fabulous non-traditional job, or now with that additional rule, a great non-traditional job. Well, as I look through this, I coded it non-traditional field. I just didn't code it fabulous non-traditional field or great non-traditional field. But as I'm looking at this, I'm going, I love my job. They're president of the, Copley advertising agency. They have a 6-figure salary. So if I look at that kind of suggests that's either a great or a fabulous job. They seem to consider it that. They like having the power. They like, knowing how many people work below them. They love their salary. They meet new challenges every day. So I'm beginning to consider I just did not code this correctly. Now, I could adjust that non-traditional field. I could recode that. And I kind of want to show you how to do that. I could just add a new code. I could come over here and I could sit there and pick a code such as fabulous non-traditional job and hit the apply and add that code to interview 1. But since I already have a code, non-traditional field, I kind of want to do this in a different way. I want to come over to non-traditional field, and what I want to do is I want to recode that, right, which is really just renaming that one instance of that code. So I'm going to change that non-traditional field to fabulous non-traditional job and hit select. It asks me OK, and now I've done that. You can see it reflected right here. I've recoded that one code. Now, if I was really, let's say I'd just done a bunch of these, again, I can come back over to that theory tool, open up that basic initial theory, and hit display again. And oh, now suddenly number 1, where it was only finding that high family commitment, I've now found the work commitment. I've found the potential for the conflict. I still haven't found, what I'm looking for, which is the final goal. Well, what was the other element of my supposition? My supposition is they've got to have these drivers for the high work ethic, the high family ethic, but there also has to be some evidence that they believe that their life will be perfect. So we're going to go use a different tool to look for that evidence that they believe their life will be perfect. And some things I could keep doing in here, I could search for some things like they believe they'll be happy, right? Again, very fast return on seeing lots of evidence through here, that these people sort of think that they'll be happy to a certain degree. This is about children being happy in interview 7. Here we can see some sample evidence. And this is, again, just a quick search. I'm going to do something slightly different here since I've showed you this tool, and I need to keep this progressing along. I'm going to show you auto coding, right? So I'm going to come up here for auto coding, and I've already set this up, and this is a couple of tidbits on auto coding. when you first go in to do auto coding, you want to associate, your sources with which cases you want to auto code, and you can select. I just want to, auto code, which will automatically search for keywords and create codes based upon them. I just want to do that for certain cases or for all my cases. You basically, when you first go in here, you can set up or remove that. You can load and save auto coding settings. If you go in and you set up an auto code, you say you've coded one source document, you've set up an auto code to go against that, you save your settings, you move on to your next source document, and you open up the same settings, you need to remember to go into the Sources tab and change it to point to the next document. Otherwise, it will try auto-coding that first document again. So you first want to go in here and make sure you've got the associations of what you want to do. Anything I find in interview 1 that matches my criteria, I want to code to case 1, anything in interview 2 to case 2, etc. Then you go over to phrases, and here's where I'm gonna put in some phrases. I'm going to look for success as a keyword, and maybe I'll add some other phrases here. I'm going to look for success. I'm going to look for happy. That's good enough for now. If I'm seeing these words success and happy, I want to grab a range of text around them, and this is where we can specify what that is. So I'm going to grab one paragraph sort of before those keywords and one paragraph after those keywords, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to code this to a new code, and I'm going to code this as potentially successful life, because I don't know yet, right? I just want to be able to capture all the text where they're talking about being successful or happy and associate it with a code. So I'm just going to code it to one code. You can auto-code to multiple codes. You can, as you can see, you can code for multiple words at the same time. You've got a lot of flexibility in here. I could save this criteria and use it again. Instead, I'm just going to fire up autocode. So it's done all that. It tells me it found 16 new code references across my 8 source documents that it's added in various places, and it's done. Now I'm going to close up autocode, and I'm going to start reviewing these. I'm just going to just review them in a regular old-fashioned, where I go and I look and I go, okay, is this really evidence that this person thinks they'll have the successful, happy life? Well, I look at it and I go, they've got an excellent job, he's very happy, she's very happy, they live comfortably, it looks like they've got their children all set, so they're taking care of that. And this paragraph alone may not be enough evidence for me to reach a conclusion. So we'll check out the second one down here, and we look that they're staying healthy. It looks their best. They get down here where it says, aha, I guess I'm really lucky that my life turned out to be almost exactly like I always wanted it to. So that seems to suggest that they think they'll have this idealized, successful, happy life. Again, I could go back now and I could use my code manipulation features where I can rename codes, I can recode codes to change this instance of potential successful life to successful, happy life, and click OK, and recode that. Now, again, if I wanted to iterate, I could come in here and open up my hypothesis. Again, I could leave it open in the background. I'm sorry, I keep closing it, and run this again. And now, in case 1, it's founding enough evidence to find my goal to be true, that this person also is suffering from the Cinderella hypothesis. And it's still true for case 5, and yet not yet for the other cases, because I haven't gone through this iterative code review, right? So you can see how this sort of process of having a theory modeled in conjunction with the searching sources for keywords, using the autocode feature to add codes for review. I could sit there and say, well, I really just want to focus on all these potential successful happy lives and filter by name. So I filter just on that code. It hides all the other codes, and now I can sort of quickly look through here and see, where am I seeing these? Man, I'm seeing a lot of evidence for this in case number 3. They are very happy in their life. The hard work, enjoy it. They're a successful lawyer, wife, and mother. This one really seems to have strong evidence for a successful, happy life, not just because the keyword showed up 5 times, but when you actually read the underlying content, you see strong evidence for the presence of the code. So on this one, I almost certainly think that there's evidence here. If I go back to this one and look at it, well, not really. This person, maybe. It's a very brief. It's hard to tell from the amount of evidence that's there. But let's say I went through, and everywhere that I see this potential successful life code, I agree that the underlying evidence supports that they really do believe they'll have this successful, happy life. I've been showing you recoding individual codes, right? I'm now going to show you sort of doing it on a much larger scale. I've concluded that all the places that I've auto-coded this evidence of successful, happy life really is supporting text material. It's supporting the larger code of successful, happy life. So I can come to my master code book and take potential for successful, happy life. And I'm actually going to recode that into successful, happy life at the codebook level. And if you notice, it says it's going to rename everywhere in my study. So now all those instances of potential successful, happy life everywhere in my study have now been recoded to successful, happy life. So you can either use these recoding or renaming codes at a individual level, or you can use them at the codebook level to do it globally across your case. Now again, if I'm eager to see how I'm progressing, I can go open up that theory again and hit display. Enough rules were found to reach the goal of my theory. Okay, great. Nope, still no good on number 2, still no good on number 3, nothing on number 4, still good on number 5, and still nothing on the others. So I'm still striking out in terms of the review of my data to understand, do I have all the themes present that I was there? And as it should be. I'm doing a way oversimplified review here. You would expect to reiterate using these tools through the codes considerably.